Tin is often an overlooked metal. It is quite an important base metal that is used historically in tin plate as chemical applications, and most people tend to think of tin in its historical uses. However, tin is extremely important in modern day life. Since around 20-25 years ago, there was a law that outlawed the use of hazardous materials in electronic components, and that meant the outlawing of lead in solder. And while that's a process that's underway all the way until 2030, most countries have adopted that law, and many manufacturers have moved from lead only to lead tin solder to pure tin. So now the biggest application for tin, making up 50% of tin demand, is solder, which goes into electronics. So essentially anything with an electrical or electronic connection has tin in it. So that's why tin is very important in current modern day life. Tin is quite critical in the energy transition because of its application in anything electronic. If we're looking at in the energy transition, you think of electric vehicles. Tin will play a role in terms of tin being used in the anode of lithium-ion batteries in small quantities, but would be representative to the overall demand picture for tin. So that's one application. Another application that seems to go under the radar is tin's application in solar energy, where tin is used as a copper-tin alloy in the wire that connects the panels within a solar panel, and that is called solar ribbon. And currently we're looking at in excess of 20,000 tons of tin demand going into that application alone, and we'd expect that to grow towards 40,000 tons by the end of this decade. And that's quite large in the context of the current total global demand for tin, which is below 400,000 tons. So these are just two potential applications that go towards the energy transition. But if you think about the fact that tin is used in anything electronic, so all the data processing, anything AI related that feeds into this will require tin as well. So that's why it's quite paramount. Although used in very small quantities, it is in anything that we do use, be it our computers or our iPhones. So that's why it is paramount, not just to modern day life, but also in terms of advancing the energy transition agenda. So currently there is no primary tin production in Europe. There's a very small amount of secondary production from other mines in Spain and Portugal. We're talking very small volumes, and absolutely no tin production at all in North America. Tin supply is very concentrated currently. About 2/3 of mine supply is sourced from Asia, and being mainly from three countries: China, Indonesia, and Myanmar, as well as Peru, Bolivia, and the DRC. When you look at that, security of supply becomes extremely important for a couple of reasons. Firstly, in terms of having proximity to your supply base, there currently is none anywhere within the Western world, pretty much. But also we are seeing disruptions to supply base. So currently, three of the biggest producing countries have seen disruptions. Indonesia, the number 2 producer, has seen disruptions from a change of the permitting process for exports that's led to 2 months, January or February of this year, where almost no tin was exported. In Myanmar, which is the 3rd largest producer, there's been a suspension of mining, especially in the Myanmar area where tin is produced, since September. And while there's continued to be exports of tin from the country working through surface stockpiles, that has been quite disruptive, and there's still a lot of uncertainty as to when the ban will be removed. And more recently, we've seen that there have been some security issues and from rebel groups in the DRC. And the DRC produces anywhere between 10 to 20,000 tons of tin per year, so that is quite significant as well. So I believe the UK having a local source of tin supply will be quite important to be able to meet its own demands and also supply towards the broader neighboring countries within Europe and North America. So Cornish Metals, we believe, is a strategic asset in the UK and of course for Cornwall. It provides an opportunity for the UK to be the first country within Europe to have primary tin production and be less reliant on imports of tin from countries where we believe could be less reliant or which do not meet the standards, whether it be from an environmental or a social perspective, for the tin coming through. And that is becoming something much more important in terms of the traceability of the materials being used within the final end product being sold to consumers. So we believe that South Crofty is a strategic asset. Cornish Metals is providing the opportunity to bring back tin mining to Cornwall. South Crofty was the last producing tin mine in Cornwall, and we hope that will be the first coming back into production and to enable supplying this critical metal to the UK and beyond.